Hello and welcome back to Technical. Today I have the HP Pavilion Aero 13 here, and this laptop costs $750 and it's less than a kilogram. Let's get right into it. So let's talk about ports. So on the left-hand side, you have a full-size HDMI port, a USB-A port, a headphone microphone combo jack, and a USB Type-C for charging. On the right-hand side, you have a USB-A port and a AC power input. This is actually built very nice because it's actually made out of magnesium, but it is covered in a ocean recycled plastic. I got the ceramic white version of this, but you could get the silver, rose gold, or gold version. So when you open up the laptop, you can see that the display lifts up the keyboard. This is extremely important because it helps with thermals and it raises the actual keyboard up and covers kind of that chunky bezel on the bottom. The trackpad is nice and large for a 13-inch device. It is a glass top trackpad, very nice. This also comes with a backlit keyboard as a $20 addition, so I personally would get that. One problem with the backlighting though is that the spacebar is not backlit. I'm not sure why this is, but yeah. This also comes with a fingerprint scanner on the bottom. I had some problems with my fingerprint scanner, so I had to consistently uninstall and reinstall the drivers, and that may be a problem for you. If you get a defective model, that is. The keyboard is nice and snappy. It has a good travel distance and sounds amazing. So I'm going to do a quick typing test on Monkey Type. The only complaint I would have for this keyboard is that there's this annoying side strip on the right hand side. It has a dedicated delete, home page up, page down, and end button. Now the problem with this is that now the keyboard has been shifted to the left, so it puts you in this unnatural position. So generally when you're using a laptop, you use the trackpad to center yourself. So where I'm putting my fingers on now is actually the K key, but I would assume it's the J key. But of course, because it's been moved to the left, it's the K key. I just find this extremely annoying. And also, I wish that they had better speakers, and this kind of intrudes on that space that they could have used for good ones. And don't be fooled by that Bang & Olufsen sign. The speakers are downfiring and they sound horrific. A 16:10 display, which covers the full sRGB range, which is actually amazing because most laptops can't do that, and the laptops that can are way over $1,000. It is a matte display, so there's very little reflections. It also goes up to 500 nits, so it's a very bright display. And no, it's not 120 Hz, it's only 60 Hz, but what can you expect? On my model, I got the 1440 display, but you can also opt for the Full HD. So let's get into the specs. So on this particular machine, you get the Ryzen 5 5625U. And along with that, you also get Radeon Vega 7 graphics. So the base core clock frequency on this particular processor is 2.3 GHz, but unfortunately what HP has done is actually downclock this particular processor so they could keep the laptop cool. This particular model comes with 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, but you can also opt for the 8 gigs. I got 512 gigs of M.2 NVMe SSD storage. You can also get the 256 gig version, which I'd personally recommend because this particular SSD is not soldered, whereas the RAM is, so I'd personally go for the 16 gigs of RAM. This also has Bluetooth 5.2 and Wi-Fi 6E, so you got a perfect travel laptop. This also has a 43 watt-hour battery, and if I'm being honest, the battery on this was not a highlight. I ended up getting maybe 4 hours of usage on this particular laptop doing basic things like, Google Documents and gaming. Oh my goodness. Trying to play Minecraft gave me about 2 hours of battery life. And this was on 80% screen brightness. If you turn on battery saver, you might be able to get 6 hours of, web browsing perhaps. But that's an unfortunate downside of this particular laptop. So don't believe them when they say 10 hours. Them is HP, of course. This comes with a 720p camera, which is actually not too bad. It's perfect for conference calls and it will do just fine for your everyday Zoom calls. This also comes with a 65 watt AC adapter. This also comes preloaded with Windows 11, so that may be an up or downside for you. So the speakers on this are not the greatest either. As I mentioned before, they are downfiring, meaning that they kind of rely on a table to sound bassy. Because when you don't have it on a table, all you can hear is mids and some highs, but bass is lacking entirely. I think what they were going for here was clarity. So if you're just watching YouTube videos, I think you'll be fine, but if you're, I don't know, for some reason listening to music off your laptop speakers, then this is something you should consider. Time for the sound test. So this is on the desk. I guess we'll wait for the beat to drop. This is off the desk. Way less spacey. Not as good. And then put here. It's a little bit better, but still kind of lacking bass in my opinion. By the way, you're probably wondering about the inbuilt microphone on this. Actually, what I've been doing right now is recording on the built-in microphone. So throughout this video, you can listen back on my voice and tell me how it sounds in the comments below. I personally think it sounds very good with great noise isolation and great clarity. By the way, you can also get this with a Ryzen 7 processor, but personally I wouldn't go for that just because I don't think you should get that high end of a processor in such a small, thin and light device. And also because I don't think the thermals could handle a Ryzen 7. So, my recommended spec version of this laptop is 16 gigs of RAM, the Ryzen 5 5625U, and a backlit keyboard alongside a full HD display to conserve battery. One problem with the I/O is that the USB-A has these little flaps on it because the actual laptop housing isn't big enough for USB-A ports. I personally would have rathered a thicker device that could house a full-size USB-A port because I find these very fragile. Now, on day-to-day real-world use, this has been a pleasure to use. With an amazing trackpad alongside an amazing keyboard, although it is off-centered, but in a nice big display with amazing color accuracy. And no, the borders aren't the smallest bezels I've ever seen. It's not some Dell XPS 13. The bezels do stick out, but nonetheless, the display is amazing. And just the thinness and lightness of this device is amazing for business people and students. The only major sore spot for this is the speakers and battery life. So if you really need good speakers and good battery life, then this is probably not for you. But to basically any other student or business person out there who is only willing to spend around $750-ish for a laptop, this is a go-to. I can't think of any other laptop that it has such good specs around this price point. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below because I'll respond to each and every one of them. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. See you later. Don't forget to check out my other videos. And yeah, peace.